What do you call someone who doesn't have the sky? Defiant. I'll see myself out.
Hello, this is KRBrickBot. After an intensive week, I finally have some time to get another review out. Carbot Fient. So it says here this was prepared July of 2019, but I recall it hit shows October, after he had some exposure in the cartoon and a guest appearance in the movie. So it's still the same uniform packaging style for the Season 7 Carbots. An opaque box with white techno frames and gears and the word mark here, a unique word mark with a big sign and a crew head. Robot mode, vehicle mode, and that same techno streaked striped background with an orange tint. And to compare with Mediant's box, this is what I mean by the uniform packaging. It's all a very similar style and layout. So it came in this cardboard box, cardboard egg girder thing, with the crew all strapped behind the figure. The extra accessory went here, and loose in the bag are the sealed plastic sprues for the chest and visor, and also the crew's accessories and the instruction sheet with a sticker sheet that's been labeled Carbot Kid Rescue. First, taking a look at the vehicle mode. It's a fire truck. A very stocky and angular fire truck. That is, it's mostly all straight lines. I hardly see any curvature to this thing. So blocky, all sharp edges and angles here. With only some circles. And that also goes to the headlight. They're all polygons. I mean, what is this? A 1980s Lego truck? Observing some of the other details, this is distinctly a Korean fire truck with the 119 emergency number and the big emblem right there. Windshield wipers, a big green window. Red Carbot symbol there. A bumper way up here and some very noticeable space with little clearance because that's the crotch. 4 little green windows back here. And the back is pretty plain, although, as you can see, those robot feet just stick out like that. I mean, there's just enough clearance for this thing to roll, but I wish this thing could have just folded backward or inward, or else it's going to get very scraped easily. When kids just try to do it like this, that is going to be very even blacker than what was already chipped right out of the box. And some hose valves here and a little door here to accommodate the fire ladder here. It goes on a full 360 and has 2 hinges to extend that much. And a little bucket ladder. And on the side mounted there are these 2 little hose guns, which are kind of soft rubber. But the rubber, it's a slightly yellowish tint compared to the main white plastic here, so that's something that might be noticeable to older folk. And that also goes for this hose. This little round hose that's permanently molded in this loop, which you can just take in and plug in one of the 5mm ports. So you can spray water like this. I mean, I guess I kind of wish this was not a single molded piece, just have an actual flexible long tube thing instead of this hula hoopy loopy. Now, taking a look at the 5 crew he comes with, they're all red except for the white gas mask-like helmet, the breathing helmet with that mouthpiece. But otherwise, it's pretty monotone. Kind of like a fire suit. And I don't think the plastic is as well defined as the other ones. For I think the ball socket shoulders on this one are a little looser. And I don't know if you see here, but I kind of accidentally ripped this one sticker while I was applying it because I think that sticker was kind of thin. So this one has a flat extinguisher. Flat fire extinguisher. Which is really kind of hard to hold for this guy with only this way, so... Or just hold it by the handle and have him whack out the fire. Or a flare gun. Maybe this is a flare gun. So this winky one has a water gun. Just a water gun. With no clear connection to this tank to the nozzle or this thread-like front protrusion thing. Yeah, putting out fires with a water gun is a very efficient way. So you just hold it like that. And this one with a bit of fire in his eyes has a hose. A flat hose. With some red filler in there. So it's just a one big clump. So that's how that works out. Maybe you could just plug this on the side of Fient. And this little happy one has a tow line or a extendable winch. Except that there's a very obvious filler in there. Or else this thing will break. But it still looks... But I guess it can still hook, but it's still very noticeable. So you can, yeah, either plug it on here or on here. And this stern one has a chainsaw. Only 2 ports, this one is flat. So see how that works out. The chainsaw is the best looking accessory of all of them. Everything else is just a flat facade. So let's load up Fient. You can flip this out and he can't sit in it. Well, you can, but then it won't be lodged. But to properly secure him, you have to make him stand, which is harder than it looks. Because, yeah, those pegs are kind of tight, so, and especially those legs that had to move about a bit, so, okay, there we go. Nice and visible out in front. Or load him up on the side cabin here, the side seat. It's quite offset because of the arm. You can also load one in the bucket. See how that works out. Kind of hard to do like the front cabin because those legs keep tilting forward. Okay, there we go. Or load up 4 of them by first detaching this, then flipping out these doors. No, wait, not that way. By flipping out these parts until you hear a nice click. Kind of looks like a deployed base. And then you can just stand them up the 4 crew in these little black holes. It's kind of inconvenient that you have to remove the top ladder because these panels get in the way. But that's how it was designed. Yeah, it's probably best to plug them in crouching, then stand them up. And you can see their little faces poking out of there. Now some size comparisons. Here's his crewmate Mediant. A slightly bigger ambulance and also more curvaceous. The more 124 MP scale Dyer. Yeah, this is. I think if this was correctly scaled, this would be much bigger, or this would be much smaller. And the very first fire rescue Carbot Ace Rescue, Santa Fe Ace Rescue. Yeah, this looks like a good matchup and team. A realistic squad car paired with a slightly bigger but still the same length fire truck. And I just noticed something. What kind of fire truck doesn't have sirens? Are these supposed to be the sirens? I don't think so. At least it has little air horns. Okay, now the transformed Fient. First, remove this. Take these panels, which basically take up half of the truck, and then fold them back. Fold that out and click in the torso to the waist. Little spread. Take out those arms and flip them out like so. Just like this, it looks like a nice Diaclone mech. Except that head is very visible, so just flip that forward. And then you can either just plug it in like that, or detach this, then plug it in like that. And use this as a shield. Fient has a pretty basic aesthetic. Just as I said, because of its angular nature, it kind of carries over here, except new details are revealed. Now it shows an extra secondary color of a black with yellows, like these black legs and arms with yellow striping evenly placed across and a slightly offset here. Some white leg details here and such. Otherwise, everything in the vehicle mode pretty much translates over here. And this shield. Yeah, it doesn't look so much like a shield and more just like a white cooking slab or a turntable slapped on the arm. And they try to sell it as a shield with an extra shield symbol here with a very scratched up outer rim for some reason. Yeah, I personally just like to plug it in together here, just to clean up the look. Plus, that lends this top ladder to be rotated, which can do some over-the-shoulder ladder punching or extending. The head sculpt is reminiscent of a fire brigade helmet, going all the way down here with a nice yellow rim to cap, and a very traditionally robotic faceplate with a chin protrusion, a chin strut. And this little green headband here lends itself to some light piping, but you gotta really get it in there to get some light piping in here. It's more forehead piping. And this little tab here is slightly unsightly, especially since this doesn't look like it tabs in anywhere. But a robot design with a van or truck front that becomes the entire torso? I think some of you Transformers fans might be thinking, Air John Inferno. Okay, I bet more of you were thinking, I am hard. But I think Fient's been working out in the wrong places because the upper torso is looking very thin, unless you fill it out with the fire back. And the lower legs are just very big baggies. Kinda justified because they're part of the crew here, but... And they're a nice storage solution, they're just trapped in there until you transform them. But part of me wishes this could have also been a little more collapsible. And Fient has 5mm holes, but no specific accessories, so you can just plug in whatever you want in there. Although I think the tolerance may vary on accessory, like this hose for instance. It's not quite easy to plug in the hose. This one looks slightly bigger. Articulation. The full 360 head swivel. Kind of an up and down flap. Full 360 shoulders that are on a slight angle. Inward and outward that much. Bicep swivels because they transform, but very basic bicep swivels. Really nice bicep swivels. Forward that much. Back that much. Better than median. Knee that bends that much. Beautiful spreads. Thigh swivel. And that's it. As I said, I wish those feet could have folded in, but because of these hinges, they don't. Basic articulation, but at least thigh and bicep swivels. And head swivels. Size comparisons. Median here. Very broader, very thicker, very chunkier. And slightly taller. Dyer. Again, a different scale. I think he should have been much bigger. Or much smaller. This Fient should have been much smaller. And Santa Fe Ace Rescue. They both share a similar color scheme, but very different styles. Sleek Hyundai curvaceous, while this one is not quite G1-y, but still very blocky. And also, we've gone full circle because they're both voiced by the exact same voice actor in the exact same mannerisms.
워터젯 발사! 파이언트 워터젯!
So Fient is a decent addition to the universal theme of medical, fire, and police that are all being updated to crew master type. That is a robot with multiple crew. But these crew master Carbots are kind of hard to recommend to anyone to export outside of Korea, in my opinion. It is very much a more kid-friendly aesthetic and not like the original aesthetic. Just more for playability with a little figures here. And especially at nearly 72,000 Korean won at regular retail. Or 40 at some local online sellers. But $70 to $90 for this thing is a hard pill to swallow. No offense, Mediant.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe to tune in for more Korean robot content. And until next time, this is KRBrickBot signing off.